Did you ever think why the obesity rates have skyrocketed in the past decades? One of the key reasons might be the change in the food itself. We can see this time and time again in developing countries where the obesity rates go through the roof as soon as the food markets are globalized. In the last video, we've seen how corporate greed is a major cause for obesity. If you haven't watched it yet, don't worry, we won't be referencing that content in this video. But I would highly recommend you jump onto that one if you want to get the whole documentary piece for cohesion. In this video, we'll talk about one of the major contributors to the rising obesity rates in recent years: the food and the evolutionary disadvantage we have against it. Humans are the result of millions of years of evolution. We survived the ferocious wilderness, wars, plagues, and one crisis after another with collective strength and community. However, one of the traits of the evolution is the very thing that might be making us more obese. The one thing we all need to understand about fat is, it's not inherently bad. There are very few things within our body that are either objectively bad or objectively good. We need everything in moderation to help us survive. Historically, fat has been quite a useful energy storage device. While glucose stored in the form of glycogen is used more efficiently than fat, unfortunately, we cannot store a lot of energy in that form. Here's where fat comes into picture. Unlike glycogen, which is stored directly in the muscle tissue, fat is stored in adipose tissue under the skin or inside the belly. Belly fat is more readily used than the fat under your skin, which is why you'll notice your pants getting looser first when you're on a diet. The energy burning mechanism takes more time to burn fat, which is why it's thought of as a long-term energy storage feature within our bodies. During our evolution, and even until quite recently, this storage mechanism benefited us immensely. The fat stores helped people recover quickly from any sickness. They helped people fight, as more fat can be stored than glucose, and someone with no fat gets exhausted quicker, and it helped us live through the winters when agriculture could not produce much yield for us to consume. However, in the recent decades, it seems like this mechanism has turned against us. The rapid changes to the lifestyle of human beings seems to have trumped evolution. Our physical activity levels have been decreasing rapidly over the last couple of decades. The nutrition in the food we consume has been going down, and the calorific value has been going up, making some of the least nutritious and most unhealthy foods in the world a part of our regular diet. Historically, when people accumulated fat, it was through minimally processed food. However, these days, most of the fat is from the ultra-processed foods, offering nothing in return for the fat we're consuming. Then you might wonder, why are we consuming them? If we know the food is not good for us and is actively harming our body, why do we like that food so much? I found some scientific evidence for why we have such unhealthy cravings when doing research for the first part of this series. And the answer lies in the reward mechanism of our brains. It seems even though ultra-processed food is harmful to us, consuming it rewrites the rewarding mechanism in our brains, leading to building a tolerance and withdrawal effects similar to consuming addictive substances. This effectively means that the more you consume the ultra-processed food, the more you will want to consume them, and going on a diet might just become that much harder. I can attest to this personally. A couple of years ago when I was trying to shed some weight, the first few days I laid off junk food, my body was shaking and I felt as if I was going to faint. All of my vitals were normal, however. It was at that point I realized the intensity of my addiction. I am glad to say that I managed to overcome that and get to my target weight by losing a little over 88 pounds. There are more studies linking stress management and ultra-processed foods. You may be doing this yourself. During a particularly intense day at work, did you ever think having X food might make this day so much better and salvage this? That's the humankind for you. We managed to short-circuit the very reason we evolved and survived for so long within such a short period of time. And don't think for a second that big food is not taking advantage of this. They are well aware of our addiction to sugar, salt, and carbs, and they will do anything to cash on that. Products are crafted with utmost care to appeal to as many people and keep them tied in. Just think about this. McDonald's is an absolutely massive chain. Consuming a McDonald's meal is known to put a lot of oxidative stress on the human body. That's a burger and fries. How many people do you know that consume one or more than one McD meals per day? A study found that consuming 2 meals within a short period of time can lead to oxidative stress induced impairment of endothelium dependent vasodilation. Now, that might sound like a bunch of nonsense from Star Trek. It certainly did to me when I first read it. What that essentially means is that consuming 2 meals as such in a short duration of time can lead to increased risk of hypertension, type 2 diabetes, and several other life-threatening illnesses. The study was conducted among 17 healthy young males. While I do admit that the parameters of the study might be lacking and more studies needed into the topic to confirm these analyses, the fact that such meals could cause quite a lot of damage to the human body is undeniable. It is almost certainly within the power of the companies to change this and make their meals healthy, but they won't. Let's call that fair. Companies are for profits, not people. What about the governments? The governments that are supposed to control such issues also throw a deaf ear. Obesity is a global problem which will have a tangible impact on local economies everywhere. It is high time we deal with this, and we deal with it swiftly and provide the care for those affected with obesity. In the next video in the series, we talk about the problems behind discussing obesity freely and the full impact on the fragile medical systems due to obesity. If you like this video, please share and subscribe. As a new channel, any interaction helps us